and happy Tuesday. Lisa McNett here, and I have been wanting to pop in here. I am a holistic health practitioner, so I have that certification, and I just say that because it envelopes a lot of things that I do. And the reason that I am a holistic health practitioner and that I believe in holistic health and want to talk to you about what holistic health is. Holistic health is looking at supporting the whole entire being, right? So mind, body, spirit, and also that is, widely encompassing, right? So sometimes we need movement. It's about food. It's about how much stress do you have? What is the quality of your life? Sometimes it includes modern medicine and pharmaceuticals. Sometimes those are really, really helpful. Of course, thank God we have certain specialists and physicians. So holistic, we don't exclude anything. But I really focus on a lot of the preventative stuff. And so there are so many different things that I want to talk to you about, and I keep wanting to come on live and talk to you about, and just kind of think, oh boy, this is overwhelming, and I can go in all of these different directions. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come on regularly and focus on one specific area. So today, what I would like to talk with you briefly about is what you consume and what you take in with your mind, the messages that you are taking in with what you see visually every day, and who and what you and how you interact every day. So it's really, really hard. What we need most is to take care of ourselves before we get sick. So what we need most is to breathe and to move our body and to eat well. But the society that we live in keeps us in a constant state of stress and fear, and we're constantly getting bombarded with the easy answers to things, right? The easy meals, the easy fixes, the drugs, so this is what I want to talk about for a moment. Like I said, I want to talk about what you are consuming with your mind. Thank God, I've never really gotten addicted to television. I forget sometimes that in most people's homes, a television is always on. You go into a lot of offices and there's a television always on, and it's usually on some sort of news story, and there's like alert at the bottom. And we do have a television now. It's so funny. I've gone huge chunks of times without having a television, and three different times in my life, people have given me a television. The first people just can't seem to comprehend that I would want to have this way of living, of not having a television. And So somebody gave me a television, and then I like watching movies. I do. So I would get a DVD player and start watching the movies. But yeah, when I grew up, I didn't really have a television. God, I don't think they had existed for that many years before I was born. And then I remember when cable was first introduced. I remember when cable came out, and we couldn't afford it. We didn't have cable. And so again, there were different points, as I was growing up, where we didn't have cable, we didn't have a lot of television influence, and, we spent more time outside. So long story short, now so many people are with the television on all the time. Everywhere you go, the television, the radio, we're out in the streets, and there's advertising, there's signs up, everywhere, and it's all the stuff. There's even, subconsciously in everything that you watch, everything that you see, there are these subconscious messages that are coming through that are we're picking up that you don't even notice it. And I see it happen in myself when I watch a movie or, you know, when I'm out a lot and I'm exposed to different things. And then later I'm like, ooh, yeah, I want to try that. Or, ooh, that would, you know, I see it. And so I think so many people just don't even realize. But I've spoken on here before a few times about how we watched the World of Dance series, which is amazing. It's over now. But every single commercial on the World of Dance series was for drugs, like drugs to manage different conditions. And so I would just like to say that most of those drugs are to manage, and they're very clear in the advertisements that those drugs are to manage your conditions. And they also make it very clear in those advertisements that the side effects that come with those drugs. And those side effects are like possible suicide, possible death, possible kidney failure, possible this, and this. And there are so many people that are on these medications. So, like I said, okay, I gotta reel myself in because I have so much to say about a lot of things that I feel are challenging for us as people trying to be healthy and to live healthy in today's society. So I've got to reel myself back in because my main message for today is what we are bringing in with our mind, and that's oftentimes through television and through advertising and through radio and through all of the media. So even on social media, I found myself scrolling for a while or like following a lot of different people and involved in a lot of different groups, and I found myself starting to do this sort of comparison game or like bounce around of different ways of thinking. Oh, I need to do this, or oh, I need to try this. And what I want to say, the main message I want to express to you is being in touch, being clear of clear mind, clear and sound mind, and being in touch with your own personal needs and body and your inner wisdom and guidance and knowledge, and not being as susceptible to a lot of the outside influence is really crucial. It's really important. And a big part of how we are controlled as a society is because we are not healthy and we are not of clear mind and in connection with our deepest inner wisdom and guidance. So we are not necessarily free thinking. We are not necessarily all free-thinking beings. If we were, we would put up with less of the bullshit. So, I'm not going to keep you too much longer, but what I'm going to say is, if you are someone, and I'm not, this is all made to be addictive. Like, this is all, they're very, very, I mean, people put lots of time and energy and thought and research into how to make what they put out there for you to see and hear, for us to see and hear, to be as addictive as possible. So I'm not putting anybody down here. But what I'm asking you to do is to think a little bit more and to recognize how often and how frequent your television is on, how often and how frequent there's just a constant stream of noise in the background of what you're listening to, whether it's just, you know, the radio or whatever it might be, and how much you find yourself like going down rabbit holes of watching or listening to things that you're kind of like, why am I even paying attention to this? And also watch how much you just allow your children to be occupied by a device. And again, not blaming you, like, I know that it can be really, really challenging, you know, keeping kids entertained and, but just being mindful of in what way they're being entertained and how often they're involved in the screen and how much they want to keep pulling for the screen, because that's an indicator as well. So I'm just asking you to recognize these things and to streamline. So I've been more focused and more streamlined as to what I'm willing to look at on social media, who I'm willing to follow on social media. I'm not gonna just be aimlessly scrolling, and really, really, really be mindful of the information that you're taking in from anyone, right? Check in with yourself. See how it feels to you inside your body, right? Don't just necessarily always think, oh, well, that sort of makes sense in a logical way, but doesn't necessarily feel right. Start to invite more quiet and more clarity into your mind. And we'll get into this whole thing. I mentioned like food and exercise and all of that. There's so many different directions I can go, and I do go and explore on this page. But today is about killing your television. Use it in a more mindful way, please and thank you. And that's my message. So I hope you're all having a great Tuesday, and I will talk to you soon.